am a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump.
All right, y'all, we got a doozy today because word through the grapevine is that President Trump might try to run again in 2028. And as of now, that would be against our 22nd Amendment, which prevents a president from serving more than 2 terms. That was made official back in 1951 after FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He served 3 terms in office. He was actually elected 4 times, but died just a year into his 4th term. I got to be honest with y'all, as much as I love me some MAGA action, and I thank God for putting Trump back into the White House again, so far he's doing a phenomenal job this go round. But if he tries to be Big 48, the man will be 82 years old, y'all. I'm not saying the elderly folks can't successfully lead, but the fact is, old Joe Biden is 82 right now, and we've gotten a front row seat into that disaster. So I don't know about this right here. Let's get it poppin'.
Joining me now, White House chief strategist at one time of the first Trump administration, host of Bannon's War Room, Mr. Steve Bannon. Thank you for taking the opportunity.
Chris, thanks for having me on News Nation, and I appreciate you.
So the only thing that you're not going to like talking about, we'll talk about first. I'm watching CPAC, and they put up a poll of potential, next generation, right? Post-Trump. You are second on the list after the VP.
Now, that list right there is interesting. If J.D. Vance continues to prove himself, I'm one of those people, you got to show me what you're all about. He's got 4 years to do it. Right now, I'd say he'd definitely be number 1 as my pick to be our next president. Y'all let me know what you think down below.
As people getting the nod at CPAC to be president, a lot of people were surprised by this. My first question, you have anything to do with putting your name in that list because you have presidential ambitions?
No. And President Trump, I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century if we're lucky. Wow. We've got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say, but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence, doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy. He's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term limit is.
All right. Well, so you're talking about litigating this issue because I don't want people to listen to our interview and say Bannon's cooking up an insurrection. Bannon is cooking up. You know what I mean? I want people to get a straight take on where your head is. What are you suggesting?
Chris, as you know, I've had greater long shots than this. When we supported President Trump after the election, I realize you don't believe the election in 2020 was stolen. We do. We fervently believe that. When President Trump went back to Mar-a-Lago on January 20th, 2021, he was the longest of long shots to return to the White House. We said that day in our podcast and doubled down having President Trump's back, that he was coming back not just to win the primary, he would win the White House, and we had to get organized and drive that victory and also start working on all the policies, what's called Project 2025 or the America First Policy Institute, but all those different think tanks that started putting in the policies that you're seeing today in what we call Flood the Zone or Days of Thunder or however you want to describe it. But this is many years in the making. So we've had greater long shots than Trump 2028, and we've got a lot of stuff we're working on there. We're not prepared to talk about it publicly, but in a couple of months, I think we will be.
But you are not suggesting revolution or overthrow or anything that people would condemn.
Chris, we just won one of the biggest sweeping victories. We're in the middle of a 1932 type realignment if we can continue on and continue to have populist policies, populist nationalist policies. We have African American men coming to our side. We have Hispanics coming to our side. So no, we're huge believers in democracy because we know how to get votes out. We know how to get low propensity, low information voters out to support the president's policies. The anti-democratic forces, I think you're seeing them today in the courts. I mean, they're trying to obstruct a sitting president of the United States from fulfilling his executive mandate. So no, we're the big believers in democracy, and we show it because we won this unbelievable come from behind, not just in 16, as you know, but in 2024 when virtually everybody ruled Trump out.
Now, I know some people are going to get triggered when he says democracy, but we are a constitutional republic. Steve knows that, but we also have a democratic voting process. He's not unaware of that. So don't get your panties in a bunch. He knows what's going on. This is a very wise man right here. He worked for Trump. He's been around the block a few times. I'm sure he has way more knowledge about the insights, the deep state, everything that's going on in the political realm, way more than you and I will ever know. I'm humble enough to admit that. Maybe you aren't, but I would definitely listen to what Steve Bannon has to say, always.
There's no question about that. And in 2024, people did not see him making the kind of comeback that he did. And that is certainly a historical comeback, no question. But I just wanted to make it clear for people so that they can't paint you as, suggesting revolution. Your analogy is to 32 and how FDR extended it. The Constitution probably gets in the way.
I firmly believe in the revolution you're seeing going on now, the revolution of common sense to deconstruct the administrative state. You're seeing that battle and that combat politically and legally in federal courts every second, every day. And if your audience, I know they love you, but they ought to start paying attention to also this greater arc of this massive fight that's going on for the direction of this republic.
Now, as interesting as everything that Steve just said was, and as much as I understand where he's coming from, I'm going to have to say no, because I wouldn't want Democrats pulling a stunt like this at all. Could you imagine? We wouldn't have a constitution left. You could say bye-bye to praising Jesus in public, bye-bye to our guns, free speech. They'd have abortion on demand. I mean, they already basically do, but we'd see murder by the hundreds of millions. And it's already been over 60 million babies that were murdered since the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision. If Democrats had their way and they could eradicate the Constitution altogether, there'd be no more ratifying amendments, nothing like that. I mean, you'd only be able to have your opinion heard if it was in line with this radical, secular, lefty agenda. I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. I can guarantee you that. So, nah, I'll pass on this one. Let's just keep praying for Trump to continue delivering for we the people and just use whatever time he's got left to implement positive change and enhancement for our country, prosperity, all of that. And then whenever he's done, let's make sure that we all show up again in 2028 and vote for a legit conservative, someone that's going to uphold our Constitution and the God-given values that America was established on. Amen. That's how I feel about it. But I'd love to hear what y'all think about all this. I'm sure you have some very inquisitive insight, some things I might not have considered. You might be able to convince me that this is a good idea. I'm not sure, but let me know what you think in the comment section, and let's keep the conversation rolling. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, ring that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video. If you like what I'm doing over here and you want to show a little extra love and support, make sure you go check out our website down below in the description section. That way you can get all the awesome shirts and hoodies you see me wearing in every single video, as well as some pretty sweet tumblers and cups. They're all made by my smoking hot wife with tons of different designs to choose from. I like my clothes baggy in the winter, so you got a little extra room to move and groove. That's just what feels gooder than chicken to me. But we got all different sizes ranging from itty bitty extra small to big and hefty 5X, a bunch of colors. I guarantee we got something that you'll like, or at least a great gift for someone that you love. Outside of that, you can always show support by buying me a coffee, joining the Patreon community. You can become a member of the Gibson family here on YouTube by tapping that join button. All those links are always down below in the description section. By no means do you have to do any of that. Just showing up and watching my freckle face on your screens for a few minutes, I am greatly appreciative. I love y'all, and I cannot thank you enough for rocking with me throughout the years. I think I posted my first video on this channel 7-8 years ago, and you have literally changed my life, my family's life for the better. I just can't put into context how grateful I am for y'all. And I know we get into some tangents and some long rants sometimes, and I get fired up. That's how I like it, and that's how y'all seem to like it as well. But just thank you from the bottom of my heart. But until next time, I'll be praying for you. Godspeed. I'm gone.